Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Community Toilet Podcast. My name is LittleMissMeta, and I am here with Crazy Rocky and Dewmonic Abyss. And welcome.
Welcome to Community Toilet. I'm Crazy Rocky, and then Dewmonic, go ahead and say hi so we know everybody's voices.
It's Dewmonic Abyss, the one and only.
Yeah, bam. And today's episode, we have some things to talk about, but I think the thing that we're going to try to take up the most with is kind of this whole PewDiePie situation that just went down. So if you guys don't know, PewDiePie went on Fiverr, and he thought that the whole idea of the community or lifestyle tab, I don't remember exactly what it was called, on Fiverr was kind of ridiculous because anybody could do anything and get paid $5 for it. So he found these guys called the Funny Guys, and he said to them to hold up a sign that said "Death to all Jews" and say something about Keemstar afterward, and that got them, actually, the Funny Guys, banned off of Fiverr, along with also somebody who was doing a Jesus impression. And then the media actually picked up on this, specifically the Wall Street Journal, and called him out for being an outright Nazi, and this sparked a bunch of other media outlets coming out saying he's racist and all of these other remarks, and this started getting a lot of mixed reviews, and you saw people agreeing with the media and some people agreeing that, PewDiePie is not racist. And then the community on YouTube kind of gathered behind him to help him get past the hit that was the media they were trying to take down his channel, really. So the community got behind him, and there's just a lot of debate right now on whether his jokes went too far, and just about this whole aftermath of what kind of happened with everything. So, dude, you got anything to add or anything to say?
I think you just about covered it. The whole Fiverr situation, PewDiePie getting called a Nazi and anti-Semitic, and, the community itself is, has rallied around against him, but the community itself has also been divided. Jacksepticeye was pressured into releasing a video, stating his opinion on the matter, but it was a contrarian opinion conflicting with what the rest of the community was outspoken about, and he received a lot of hate for it. So, that shows how controversial this entire issue is.
Mm-hmm. True, very true. So, Meta, do you have anything you want to add, or are you good?
I think this whole thing is stupid.
Okay. That's true. It is pretty stupid.
I mean, why they actually want to have his career ruined just because he made a bad joke. I mean, whether or not people found it offensive, it's why would you want to end his career just because of that? There are actual racists out there.
True. And so let's start with the obvious. Do we think he's a Nazi? Is
Obviously not.
A Nazi? Yeah, he's clearly not a Nazi,
no.
Guys.
He made a video. He actually made a video of him playing a game, shooting Nazis' balls. It was actually, I don't know.
I saw that video. That was pretty great. I did sit with my legs crossed the whole time, though, because I cringed very hard. But yeah, he's clearly not a Nazi. So all these media outlets saying he's racist or a Nazi is ridiculous. And just because people have hate groups rallying behind them doesn't mean that that's what they stand for. I mean, look at Pepe. Pepe was taken by hate groups when in reality it was just an innocent meme, and nobody really knew Pepe was even being used by hate groups. So it's similar in that way. And I guess the next question is, what are your guys' opinions on it? Do you think the joke was too far? Do you think that there was no harm in it at all? What do you guys think?
I mean, when I think of an offensive joke, I always look at whether or not he was the person's intention. Was PewDiePie making Jews the butt of the joke? I didn't really see that.
That's true.
When
yeah, you just said
I
it
felt
as
he was
a form
making.
of meme.
I don't know. He didn't really have a butt in the joke, did he?
Actually, Death to All of Jews, I think was Keemstar, because he made a Keemstar joke right after it, and Keemstar admitted he was
subscribed
the butt
to
of the
Keemstar.
joke. Yeah, it was subscribed to Keemstar. He was it was a joke towards him, because Keemstar has been related to Nazis and whatnot all the time. And there was also a video that people
Keemstar's
pointed to.
the butt.
Yeah, Keemstar's the butt. And there was also a piece that people pointed to that was him talking about YouTube Heroes, a video about YouTube Heroes. And YouTube Heroes was the butt of the joke, but they were trying to say that he was being anti-Semitic there.
Oh, I actually, they actually took a part of the video where he was actually like pointing to, I don't know, was pointing into the sky or something, and Wall Street Journal used that one clip to show that he was like doing some kind of Nazi salute or something like that.
Yeah, they
actually
took it completely out of context to paint him in that Nazi light.
It was ridiculous. So, what about Jacksepticeye's video? Meta, did you watch it?
Yeah, I did. I watched the whole thing. I don't think he should be getting a lot of hate. Like, what the heck?
Yeah.
He was just giving his opinion. Like, I mean, it's okay if he thinks the joke went too far or something like that.
Yeah, people kept saying, stabbed in the back. Do you think that's an accurate point?
Yeah, that seems like a bit of an exaggeration. I think people were mainly doing that to get, like, attention and YouTube clicks, because it's like, you have Jacksepticeye and PewDiePie in the title, and people think of Jacksepticeye as, like, this pure god, so, like, people wouldn't expect him to do something like that, so you get a lot of clicks from a title like that.
That's very true, yeah.
I think people, like, I don't know, I just feel like people have a hard time taking other people's, like, opposing opinions. Because he wasn't really, like, I felt like it was constructive, what he was saying.
That's true.
And well thought out, I don't know. Okay, maybe not well thought out, but like,
and
it was constructive.
Yeah, it seemed like a lot of people were trying to shoot down his point of view, and there's something that the YouTuber, I like Philip DeFranco, he says that if you shoot down discussion, then you shoot down progress, and that I think is very true, and especially with a video like that, people were calling him a backstabber and whatnot, and even if he didn't think his point all the way through, there still was some good constructive points that he made within the video that shouldn't have been shot down simply by some of the other things within the video.
Yeah, I think it's, like, hypocritical in a sense that, like, people are, like, criticizing, like, people are riled up about the Wall Street Journal taking PewDiePie's clips out of context, and then they're taking, like, Jack's clips out of context to say he backstabbed PewDiePie. So it's like the same thing, just on different sides.
It really is.
I actually didn't read the article that Wall Street Journal made, but I think somebody quoted from them that they actually read, like, that they actually watched all of PewDiePie's videos. Like, and they cherry picked like the parts that show Nazi imagery.
Yep, they went through, there were so many clips that they got from so many different videos that they had to have watched the majority of his videos to find them.
You actually have to be subscribed to the Wall Street Journal to actually read the article, so you have no idea of the actual source, you just have to take people's word for it.
That's true, yeah.
So that's the thing that sucks about it. All the media's really doing is just focusing on the money he makes, like they're jealous of that, about the influence he has over, like, much more people than they do. So I feel like they're trying to, like, get rid of that influence because, like, YouTube's an open platform while the media's, like, heavily restricted.
Yeah. Because everybody can watch PewDiePie, but you have to pay $3 to read the Wall Street Journal about him. So they're scared that, this guy can make so much money without having to charge a fee for it, and that's going to bring in even more of an audience while they, are not... I don't know how the Wall Street Journal is doing money-wise.
I heard they're actually, losing people. That's what I heard. Yeah. Like, traffic. They're losing traffic.
I wouldn't doubt it, yeah. Because, all the media that really charges upfront fees and whatnot are going to start losing more and more money because people can go elsewhere to get that product. And that's what they're scared of, really. And that's what I think they were trying to send a message of is, hey, we can take you down easily, but it kind of backfired on them.
Yeah, they're literally like a joke right now. Like, no one on the internet can really take them seriously.
Yes, and Wall Street Journal, you used to see an article from Wall Street Journal and you took it seriously, and now they've kind of become the butt of the joke, as you just said. What do you guys think about the community's response to the whole PewDiePie situation? Not specifically, like we talked about the Jacksepticeye response, but what about just the PewDiePie situation itself, how everybody rallied behind him?
I felt like people were witch hunting. I mean, it was funny when people were, like, going after Ben Fritz when he, like, opened his Twitter, made his Twitter public. It was kind of funny. But, like, people were witch hunting for... they were really being mean to people who didn't really understand the context of the jokes that were made.
That's true.
I felt like we could have been, like, a little bit more calmer. But, I mean, you can't really control people. That's how, like, people act.
That's true. Okay.
One of the problems here is, like, a generation gap where, like, people like Ben Fritz were raised in a generation that was, like, completely politically correct. so they're not used to people like coming out with jokes like this. So it's something they're not used to, and like people don't necessarily
No, actually,
like
Ben
change.
Fritz. Ben Fritz actually like I mean, people are assuming that he's a fan of South Park because of his Avi.
Yeah,
So he's not. I don't think he's actually politically correct. He actually made a comment saying that only that he thinks that only black jokes are funny.
Wait, did he really?
Yeah, did he really?
He did. Yeah, he did.
Oh my god.
It was like a really, really old tweet from 2009. I think he was talking about some show that was like offensive, and they were making fun of ethnicities, and he said something about thinking only black tweets were funny.
Oh my god.
Do you guys want me to send you a link?
Yeah, we could probably like read off the transcript as well.
It was from
see,
2009. I can't dig it out from his Twitter.
Okay. Well, he said... Okay, I'm looking at tweets right now. One was, at Joe Mulder, nah, my hard-on is purely for the Nazis. And then he said, just attended my first Hanukkah party, had no idea Jews were so adept at frying.
Okay, so I'm not gonna... I don't know, I got lazy. I'm just gonna show you a screenshot that I Google searched.
Obviously, I'm not counting jokes about black people. Those are just funny, is what he said.
Oh.
Yeah, that was January
2015.
2015?
That was 2015.
I thought it was 2009. Okay, I have bad memory.
No, 2009 was the Nazi jokes. The black people, those are just funny jokes, is what he kind of said, is January 11th, 2015. Well, damn. Okay, well that is definitely interesting. I didn't even know that.
So his humor is not like politically correct. He's just...
No, it's not.
No.
So, yeah, that just goes for more proof of they just went after PewDiePie to try to prove something.
To take him down.
To take him down, yeah. Instead of just actually trying to do the right thing. If you have somebody like that who, that's crazy.
Yeah, and like they didn't actually go to him. They actually went to his brands and everything first.
They went to his brands. I think that was... Because that's the hardest part, I'd assume, for PewDiePie, is getting... I mean, it's not, of course, hard for him. He's still going to make money. He's still going to be the biggest YouTuber. But to get cut off from your brands just because somebody backed them into a corner is terrible, because Disney and them didn't have much of a decision, because once they were saying, oh, he's anti-Semitic, we're going to say he's anti-Semitic, we're a trusted journal, they were like, okay, well, we've got to cut him, or else we're going to get a bunch of backlash.
Disney, like, obviously didn't care about the jokes he was making until they were pointed out by the media, because, like, they have iDubbbz employed in their network, and iDubbbz is, like, famous for saying the N-word and all sorts of, like, racist stuff, like, as a joke. He's a lot worse than PewDiePie.
He's like front and center before PewDiePie started getting called out by the media.
Yeah, exactly.
Did you have something to add, Matt?
They even like canceled. Like, what I'm most sad about this situation is that like they canceled PewDiePie's YouTube Red series. Like, I actually love that series, and then they canceled.
Yeah, that's true.
And I can't watch the second season. Apparently, the second season was supposed to be even better than the first one because I don't know. I guess they got creative. It was
supposed to be Jack versus PewDiePie. That would have been fun to watch. Actually, that would have been fun. That is sad. Let's see. Does anybody have another point we could bring up about the PewDiePie situation?
There were 3 article writers involved, so we only know about like Ben Fritz. Everybody's like zeroing in on him because he has a South Park Avi or something like that. We don't know anything about the other 2. What the heck?
Do we have the names of the other 2?
I forgot the names.
Okay, well, let's see.
Yeah, they weren't very memorable.
Wall Street Journal PewDiePie article authors. I'm trying to look up these names still, but one thing that I didn't like, though, was that, I did and I didn't, is that all of the media articles that are now saying, oh, PewDiePie's not anti-Semitic, the Wall Street Journal tried to do whatever, and the mainstream media that's siding with him all came out after a lot of things happened. And it feels more they jumped on the stand with PewDiePie bandwagon also for clicks, to me at least, more than just to help him. Do you guys have any opinions on that?
Yeah, I think it would have been to, like, save their own reputation, because, like, the Wall Street Journal was, called out for being clickbait and, like, slanderous. But, like, they don't want them to be labeled under that same category. They want to be, so in a pure light, where they're actually, like, reporting the truth. I feel like that's what they were trying to do when they sided with PewDiePie. Like, they'd be noticed by a bigger audience that way.
Yeah. That's what I mean. Well, what about you, man? You got anything?
I don't know. Did it all really start when Wall Street Journal said something about it?
What do you mean, the whole
controversy?
Was the controversy? Because I know the controversy was there with iDubbbz, because that was a big thing. But was the controversy there with PewDiePie? I think so. I think people mentioned it, but I don't think it was anywhere near as big until the Wall Street Journal mentioned it.
Yeah, like the media was writing articles about him and like how he said the N-word in like a joking way. Yeah. But like he wasn't under fire until the Wall Street Journal went directly to his brand, and then that's when the whole controversy started.
There was no company cutoffs. There was no massive media surrounding it. There wasn't a bunch of people watching what was going down. It was just kind of people called him out for saying the N-word mostly. And then all of a sudden the Wall Street Journal came out with he's an anti-Semitic, and it all blew up. So looks like, okay, so one of the article writers privated their Twitter. And let's see if this guy did too. Jack Nickus is he's not private on Twitter.
Yeah, I think they all started out like privated after the exposure, but then like eventually they started unprivating, and then he's probably the only one that hasn't unprivated.
What is his name?
Probably, yeah. It's Jack Nickus. Jack spelled Jack, and then Nicas is his last name. I'm looking at his Twitter right now.
Are people, like, harassing him about the PewDiePie thing?
I'm looking just at his tweets right now. The only thing he seems to tweet about is his articles. And, hold on, let me look at the tweets towards him. But all I see is his articles, and he is not saying, like, he regrets anything. Or even really talking about it.
Oh, okay, so, I mean, I'm looking at his tweets. People are calling him fake reporter, hashtag defend PewDiePie. Yeah, people are going after him too.
Yeah, they're going after him. But I
think everyone is like zeroing in on Ben Fritz because it's obvious that he's a hypocrite.
Yeah.
Also, it seems like they're kind of sucking Google's dick in this. Like they're retweeting a bunch of stuff regarding Google and like painting Google in a very good light.
That's true. Well, because think about it. Like, think about it. They're trying to take down one of YouTube's top creators, and YouTube's owned by Google. And even though they don't need PewDiePie, it's still like he's the biggest creator on YouTube, and YouTube is a big platform owned by Google. So they're probably trying to say they probably tried to suck Google's dick in order to maintain in good spirits with them. But I don't know. Do you see where I'm going with that?
Yeah, I think so. Like, Google has the power over him, so they would be in good.
Exactly.
Is Google really having a problem with PewDiePie?
I think YouTube made a comment saying that they don't care. Like, it wasn't exactly they don't care, but it was pretty much saying they don't. I don't think they specifically said we don't care, but they said pretty much we don't care in not so many words.
They did, like, take him off, like, the ad recommended stuff. Like, they stopped supporting him as much as they used to, but they're not, like, taking action against him.
YouTube response to PewDiePie. Because I think they made a tweet about it or something along those lines.
I don't think... Wait. Maybe they weren't... Like, maybe they were speaking, like, generally. I feel like they did say something in result of the situation, but they didn't, like, address PewDiePie specifically.
Yeah. Did you find something?
No, I remember Google saying something like right after the PewDiePie situation.
Yeah, so do I. I just don't remember where I saw it at or in what platform they used to say it. Do you watch Philip DeFranco?
No, I haven't really watched his videos.
So do you know what we're talking about?
Yes, I do. Like,
Damn,
well,
okay, maybe it wasn't.
I think Google made a different statement than the one like you're talking about. Like, I think I saw a different statement. It was like I saw the one about like Google pulling its, like funding towards like the mass advertisers they were sending his way, like they didn't, condone anti-Semitism, and they were showing that by like pulling advertisers. But I don't know if they actually.
Yeah, I they pulled him off the friendly advertisers, which just means you aren't going to give as many ads to them because the advertising companies have to check, yes, I'm willing to let people that aren't on this list use my advertisement or have my advertisement on the video. That's kind of how like the whole demonetization thing worked, where people were getting their videos demonetized because they weren't advertiser friendly. He was removed from the advertiser friendly list.
Oh, so basically his whole channel is in a way demonetized?
It's not demonetized. It's not quite demonetized, but he's definitely going to get less money because less people will see his ads. The companies will have to check, yes, I want my videos pretty much on this type of channel. And not as many companies do that because they don't want to associate their brand with something that could be perceived as anti-Semitic or racist or just not family friendly or things along those lines. So, yeah, he will definitely get less monetized views.
You know what's odd, though?
What's odd?
On Jack Nickus's Twitter profile, he actually shares the PewDiePie response video to their story, but he gives, like, no context or opinion to it. He just says, here's PewDiePie's response to our story, and then he retweeted PewDiePie's tweet sharing the video.
Oh, really?
And he didn't respond to any of the comments to it, so I have no clue, like, what he was trying to do there. Like, he sort of discredited himself? Or,
yeah,
I don't know if he was trying to apologize or what, but...
Well, no, I noticed that. He didn't really say anything about it other than, this is his response. That's it. He didn't say if he was sorry about anything. He didn't say if he agreed or disagreed with PewDiePie. He kept it 100% neutral, and he just said, this is the response that was made. And that leaves a lot of room for speculation because over all of his other tweets, he still hasn't really said anything about it, other than this is our story.
The strategy might just be to, like, ignore it and, like, try to brush it off, and then hopefully it would, like, just go away and people would forget about it, but, like, that's realistically not going to happen.
Yeah, that's true. It's not gonna... I mean, sooner or later, it's not gonna matter anymore. I mean, already, yeah, people are still talking about it, but it's just gonna die down, and the next big thing will come up and knock it off. But people will remember the time that the Wall Street Journal probably tried to take down PewDiePie, and the community said, nah, we're not having it.
Yeah, there'll just be a dead meme.
Yeah, it'll just be a dead meme. Pretty much. Okay, do we have any other points we can hit about it, or do we want to move on to another subject?
What do you guys think of, like, white supremacist groups, like, supporting PewDiePie? Apparently, like, that's one of the arguments people have against him, that white supremacists have, like, promoted him and stuff like that.
Yeah, do you want to take that, Dew, or do you want me to go first?
Yeah, one thing I've noticed is that a lot of people, like especially the media, is comparing PewDiePie to Donald Trump. Like, that he has a lot of money, he's white, and, like, with the, anti-Semitism and, like, racism, and then him attacking the media. Like, they're comparing all that to what Donald Trump does.
I mean, it's not just Donald Trump that is, like, attacking the media and calling them fake news, because it's like a lot of other people. Notch even, like, said that he's had, like, hit pieces made on him. I've never seen these hit pieces. I don't know what they're about, but apparently, like, the media, like, one time tried to slander him too. Notch from Minecraft.
Well, yeah, they did, and that's the problem with YouTube, though, is that is pretty much the media's response to the growing platforms that are now becoming more traditional media, and for the youth will be not traditional media, but common media. But now, since we do have this free media that's based off of ad revenue and whatnot, those older companies had to charge people fees up front in order to get their product. That's how they made money. And now that they have to rely on clicks and they have to rely on ads because they have to keep up with the free form of the media, it makes them have to get that story first or create that juicy title that gets all the clicks and all the money, because otherwise they just see falling income. And so while YouTube is great, and I'm never going to say YouTube is bad, and of course the media needs to evolve, this is kind of the only way that the media can respond until they figure out a way to bring profits back up or integrate into how these people are currently doing it.
I feel like the mainstream media needs like personalities. If they like, I don't know. I feel, because when I go to like news channels, like Philip DeFranco, I mean, he's technically news. I usually
They're all
watch
monotone.
those channels for like the person's personality. So I feel like that's what they need. Yeah,
well, if you look at YouTube's trending and whatnot, you see the late night show hosts are usually always trending, and they're usually talking about some sort of news. I mean, like, for example, Stephen Colbert, he talks about daily news, and while he's not a news reporter, he is a personality, and that clearly gets it across to people. Otherwise, it wouldn't be trending like it does and things like that. I mean, of course, there's a whole debate on whether you can pay to be on the trending page and whatnot, but they wouldn't be on the trending page, according to YouTube, if people weren't enjoying it and getting something from it. So that's definitely a good point, that characters can help push information.
And like the media can't really do that because of their like demographic. If they started coming out with personalities and like they started cracking jokes, that would turn away like the viewers that do pay them money, because like those people are trying to look for unbiased sources, all professional like.
Yeah,
but they're
exactly.
coming out with biased sources.
Yeah, and that's the problem with the I don't remember who mentioned it earlier, but the generation gap is the old school media still has the older generation that wants things certain ways, and they can't really convert to the new ways if they want to maintain that old demographic. So they're kind of in that midpoint where they have to try to please everybody, and it's just really not working out, apparently.
Actually, I've noticed, like, on YouTube, a lot of people are starting to try and, like, start a war with the media. They're trying to do, like, everything they can to take down those mainstream media sources. And, like, most notably, like, in this war thing, like, Keemstar is, like, the one who's, like, riling everyone up the most, I'd say. Like, he's done the most impact in this war, in a sense. Like, for example, in The Wired, they also wrote an article, like, pretty much just calling PewDiePie a Nazi, and then Keemstar tweeted at Verizon, a company that had an ad on their article saying that he would cancel his subscription to Verizon and to retweet if anyone else would. It got like hundreds of retweets, and then Verizon, the Twitter Verizon team was like terrified, and they were constantly like sending messages to Keemstar and the people who commented on that tweet.
Oh yeah.
I thought it was funny,
and then
actually,
The Wire changed their title.
I don't think 500 people who retweeted that tweet actually had Verizon plan.
Yeah, they might not.
Yeah.
It was more like a bluff.
Yeah, but that's the great thing about the media platform that we have, is now singular people have a lot of power, which can be really scary. But at the same time, since all these different people have so many different points of views and they all kind of have an audience and a community behind them, it's much easier to call people or forms of media or, you know, the government, whatever it might be, out on their bullshit. Because now we have all sorts of different communities and points of views able to get a message to be widespread, instead of having to have a really famous person do it that, you know, is monitored by a producer, a director, all sorts of things.
Yeah, that's something like to keep in mind. Like, YouTube as a community has a lot more power than people think it does. Because I can imagine, like, in the future, right, if YouTube's still around and people have millions more subs than they do now, it'd be, like, really easy for someone, like, from the YouTube community to, like, run for president, and they'd already have a huge support that would vote for them.
That's
like,
oh my god. That's scary.
Like,
I never even
Leafy
thought about
running
that.
for president.
Yeah, I could not. Could you imagine FouseyTube running for president?
Oh my gosh,
10
no.
million subs, just already has the backing, already makes plenty of money so he can afford the campaign. That's terrifying. And he could also probably start a GoFundMe or whatever, an Indiegogo, whatever it is, and get the money for that campaign. Yeah, get more money for that campaign. That's terrifying.
Oh my gosh.
That's a really good... I never thought about that. You know what? I need to get big so that way I can run for governor and then I can become president. That's my goal now.
And then vlog in the White House.
Vlog in the White House, yep. Have a,
oh my gosh, vlog in the White House.
They have an official...
That would be actually interesting to watch.
That would be. They have the president's official Twitter, have an official president YouTube channel. Do they have that? Is that a thing? That should be a thing. Okay, so any last points on this topic before we move on to like anything else that we have? So we can... This will be the last things to wrap up anything that has to do with PewDiePie. Anybody got anything to say?
So there were like a few people that like famous people that like tweeted about the situation with PewDiePie.
Oh, like J.K. Rowling?
J.K. Rowling and what was that comedian's name? Sarah Silverman?
Oh yeah. Wait, did Sarah Silverman tweet about it?
Did you guys?
I didn't see Sarah Silverman.
Yeah, she tweeted about it. She I forgot what she said, but she was like against PewDiePie. That's all I remember. And like people were like showing how much of a hypocrite she is because she actually like dressed up as Hitler one time.
Yep, I have the Hitler picture right here. Hold on. She's done blackface and
which is even worse.
Yeah, she's wearing a Nazi outfit and all sorts of things. But yeah, she, I guess, does not agree with PewDiePie. That's interesting. You know, I imagined that comedians mostly would be behind him as well, but I suppose not.
Yeah. And I would have thought, like, J.K. Rowling would have been behind him as well, because, like, she knows what it's like to have her content, like, said it's something that it's not, you know, like, slandered, because back when Harry Potter started off as this thing, a lot of people thought it was, like, satanic, and there was a huge controversy over it. People were considering banning it from the United States.
Yep.
So I figured she'd, like, have sympathy with PewDiePie.
J.K. Rowling, she said something about, like, I feel like her issue with PewDiePie is that she had, like, the Fiverr guys banned. And also, well, I mean, she didn't really mention Jesus. But she like, he had the Fiverr guys banned. I think that was, like, her issue.
Well, he got them unbanned as well. But yeah, I think also the problem is just people were misinformed in the beginning as well. I mean, I think she made a comment afterwards, J.K. Rowling specifically, saying that context doesn't matter. But I think a lot of people that were siding with the media just took the article at face value and didn't say, oh, we should look into the context of this. Because when you really do think about it, it's hard to remember somebody that has done a joke about Nazis, really. Because, I mean, I don't watch a lot of comedians, but in mainstream media, it's hard to remember somebody making fun of Nazis that can be taken out of context other than, like, maybe Family Guy or something that's automatically really offensive. I can't personally remember a person that I could take out of context and say, hey, this guy's a Nazi. But PewDiePie gave them that ability by making those jokes, and nobody really fully knows him because even though he is, you know, this big YouTube sensation, people that don't watch YouTube don't necessarily know who PewDiePie is.
What about, like, the theory with, like, Say Carl, who was, like, a big part of Maker, who had, like, this scandal?
Yeah, that Shay Carl theory.
That is really interesting. It's really a funny theory. I kind of wish it were true, but I doubt it.
Does he still own, like, Maker Studios? Because I heard that, like, they sold Maker Studios to Disney.
Even if he does own it, I don't think he has enough pull by himself to do that.
Yeah, like
by himself, like, you're just gonna cut the biggest YouTuber in the world from your thing that is technically owned by Disney, even if you're a co-owner, like, still it's technically owned by Disney. I think that would all come down to if he still has full rights, but even then he would have to get any other owners or anybody else with significant money in the business to say, yeah, let's cut the biggest YouTuber from our network. So yeah, I don't think that's true.
I mean, I'm sure they have like a ton of other YouTubers with them.
Well, they do.
And like PewDiePie would be like, maybe he makes a lot of money, but like maybe only a percentage?
Well, I'm not saying he's their top earner. They can definitely go without him. They can definitely do without him. I'm just saying he is the biggest YouTuber. Like, that's kind of bragging rights. If I had the biggest YouTuber in my network, I would have that plastered everywhere. And I think they did have that plastered on their website as well in, like, part of an article or
they
something.
Did?
Yeah, they had it mentioned, like, oh, PewDiePie is in our network. And they then had to remove it or something like that because he's not part of their network.
They had to remove it?
Yeah, because he's not part of their network anymore. I don't remember who brought that up, but there was, I'm pretty positive they did mention specifically on their website that PewDiePie, the biggest YouTuber, is in their network, and now they had to remove it. So, yeah, I personally don't think that whole J.K Rowling theory is right at all. But it would be funny. Not really. It would be depressing, but it would be interesting, I suppose. But I don't think so.
I mean, he doesn't really have a big role in Maker Studios,
I don't think he does.
And a lot of people actually didn't know who he was until like the drama around him started surfacing.
Hold on, guys. Sorry. I'll be right back. I'm gonna keep my thing recording, so just we can edit this out. All right.
Yep.
And we are back, guys. So now that we got the whole PewDiePie situation talked about, the next really interesting thing that happened recently, I don't remember exactly when it happened, but there was a new solar system found. Did you guys read the article about that?
I heard about it.
Yeah,
I saw it in the news. There were like, 7 new planets?
Yeah, 7 new Earth-sized planets that could contain water.
That's pretty cool. There has to be aliens. And there has to be aliens at least one of them.
That is what I want so badly, because think about it. The atmospheres could potentially have water, and they have, there's at least 3 of them that have an environment that would be the proper temperature that, things would need to survive. So if we have life forms here, there's gotta be life forms there. Let's say there's aliens on those planets. What do you think they're like? If there were, like, this is just like a question I suppose could be a broad range and not just these planets, but if there are aliens, what do you guys think aliens look like? I'm a science fiction nerd. I like science fiction stuff, so what do you think aliens would be like?
I feel like they would look like humans. Different, slightly different. Maybe they have a bigger head or something like that. I feel like they
humanoid.
would, like, somewhat like humans. That's what I feel like.
Okay, humanoid. What about you, D? What do you think
I think there'd be like giant insects, all parasitic. I have no clue how they'd be like. But...
if there is a planet out there with alien spiders, I will die.
Alien spiders.
Oh my gosh.
I will die. Could you imagine if we found aliens, but all they really were spiders that somehow migrated, and they're just like these giant intelligent life forms? And like that is our
life
aliens.
Forms, intelligent spiders,
yeah.
Really? Oh my god!
Yes, all of a sudden spiders like evolved, and
then we have to take them out.
And we have to take them out to colonize their web-filled planet. That is terrifying.
That would be terrible.
That's actually a good sci-fi movie, though. If somebody wants to make that.
I think I heard somewhere like those planets are actually like 40 light years away. If we actually build like a spaceship that can actually go like as fast as light, people would have to wait like 40 years.
Yep. Yeah, this information is not going to be useful in our lifetime unless we find a way to travel through black holes. Because even if we can find a way to travel at the speed of light, like you said, it would take 40 years. And we're nowhere near being able to travel at the speed of light. We are a long time away from that. So yeah, this information is really just interesting and not something that'll really affect us.
We would have to like find a way to make a black hole if we actually find a way to like survive going through one.
Yeah, I know, and God, that's never mind. I almost went off on a tangent for a second, but
And there's no way we'd have the money to make that too.
No, there's no. And also, if there were a way to do that, I imagine the countries would end up starting wars over such technology. Like, if all this, like, for example, because, like, we had the space race, right? What if there was, like, the black hole race, where all the countries tried to figure out how to manipulate black holes, and we found a way to manipulate time and space to get from one point to another instantly, and one country figured out how to do that way before any others even got close? There would be massive war, and that would be it. That would be terrifying again. So yeah, none of the planet information will be useful for us, but you know what? Maybe one day we'll figure out how to become immortal and upload our brains into robots, and we won't have to worry about it, and we'll figure out all this planet stuff.
Like, about the planets, like, one of the coolest things about it was, like, how the sun was set up around them. I forget exactly how it was, but some of the planets had, like, one side of that planet would be permanently night, and the other side would be permanently day, which I thought was, like, really cool.
The sun is a dwarf star, like, and it's, I think they said, half the temperature of ours, which our sun is 10,000 degrees Fahrenheit, and their sun is supposedly 5,000 degrees Fahrenheit. So all of the planets have to stay in a close gravitational pull in order to, since it's small, in order to maintain within the gravitational pull, they have to stay close. So certain planets are aligned in a way that cause it to always be night on one side, always be day on the other, which that would be interesting if we were to try to colonize such a planet. I don't know if that's in the habitable zone, but if we were to colonize such a planet, I wonder if life forms would be able to thrive in that environment when you could be in an environment that is always night or always day. I wonder if that's habitable in the first place. That's interesting.
And another thing to think about is, like, what if there's another life form that just discovered our planet, and they're thinking the same things about us?
Could you imagine? They're just like, hey, there's these planets that really differ in size, and some of them are probably habitable. We should go check those out. That would be terrifying. Aliens on their way right now. You know what? Do you guys think, you know what, we're going full conspiracy theory.
Yes.
Do aliens exist on this planet right now?
A lot of people are saying, I don't know, a lot of people who are into conspiracy theories are saying, like, there are people, like, aliens living among us already, which I find a bit, like, I don't know, I think it's ridiculous, but it's also scary, because it's also possible.
See, I'm really into conspiracy theories sometimes, and I watch a bunch of YouTube videos and stuff on it. There was a woman in government, I don't know what her exact position was, but she made this speech to, I think it was the House of Representatives, and it was talking about, or not the House of Representatives, was it I don't know, the House of something, and she made comments about aliens actually existing, and she is like a trusted politician in a very powerful position and not just some crazy conspiracy theorist. And she talks about different life forms of aliens that are on the planet, how they work with them,
on this planet?
All sorts of weird things on this planet.
Okay.
And that is what people are saying, like, aliens are definitely here, because why would this perfectly sane woman in power who everybody trusts say something that isn't true, like completely not true, when it must have some merit to it? But
she was actually talking about different life forms,
like different
kinds.
Life forms. There's like the whites, like there's these aliens apparently that are white and tall, and they're like referred to like the white men or something like that.
What?
I'm serious. I'm dead ass serious. You think I'm kidding? That is the funny part. You think I'm kidding? I'm serious. It's like the white something. It's not like the white men, but it's like
the white supremacists.
Tall whites. The tall whites. There's some random. I swear I'm not insane. Hold on, I've got to look this up. Because you guys, I'm serious. I am dead serious. Politician speaks about aliens. It's like, it was one of the things that Google recommended.
The Canadian minister. Paul Hellyer. Oh, was it a male?
Paul Hellyer?
Government are hiding alien. Yeah. Paul Hellyer, the Canadian minister, urges world leaders to reveal secret files. He was the defense minister from 1963 to 1967.
Okay, what was the other kind of life forms other than the white supremacists?
The white supremacists. I don't know. I'm just reading an article on it now because I think he mentions it. I think they have a recording of his actual speech. So if you watch it, I think it'll tell you. But I don't know. The article that I'm reading is not showing it. But anyway, what others? Anybody got any other topics to move on about?
No, not real. I don't know.
Alright, so this was our first episode of the Community Toilet. First of all, before we end off, I'd like to give a little shout out to Katharina A. Rivers, also known as What's Her Face. Her channel and Twitter is linked down below in the description. She makes speed art stuff, so be sure to check her out if you like the art in this video. And that's about it. Thank you for watching. Subscribe to the podcast if you want to see more episodes like this. Your feedback in the comments is greatly appreciated. I have no clue where to go with this.
And then go follow, go subscribe to LittleMissMeta, and go subscribe to Dewmonic Abyss, and go follow Crazy Rocky on FitMe, and do all that good stuff. And leave some feedback down below if you guys got it. And we will see you all in the next episode of Community Toilet.